Hello, everybody. My name is Stuart Robertson, and I'm going to be going over the basics, the background, the history, and plot of my upcoming film, Pragmatophobia. So, Pragmatophobia is my first full length feature film. It is both a prequel and a sequel to my recently released short film, Relapse. So, I'm going to go over really quickly what Relapse is and how it ties into Pragmatophobia for those who haven't seen it. And for those who have seen it, just to give you a better understanding of what is going to be happening between these two films. So, Relapse is a psychological thriller, kind of like a coming of age drama as well, in a way. So, it's a short film that centers on two characters, one being a therapist and one being a patient who is 20 years old, going by the name of Stuart, who I play. And basically, the plot centers on these two characters after Stuart reaches out for therapy and ends up meeting Isaac for the first time, which is his therapist, and it's kind of it's really hard to actually narrow down and pick out what the therapist was trying to get from Stuart. So Stuart has a lot going on. He walks into this session all bloodied and tattered, and he's clearly lost a lot of sleep. He's highly under stress. He's got massive anxiety, and he's really kind of secluded and isolated as he enters. And as the time goes on, he slowly but surely does open up to Isaac. But as far as his background, Isaac, the therapist, is really trying to pick out what exactly is going on with this character, who he is, where he comes from, and what he's trying to achieve. And while all those questions are kind of subtly answered, it's not fully revealed who this character is and still why he's where he's at. So basically, where Pragmatophobia fits in is that Pragmatophobia takes place both before and after Relapse, with the first half of the movie taking place before and the second half taking place after Relapse. So Pragmatophobia centers on three best friends, one being Stuart, with his friends Jeremiah and Tyler. And basically there are these three best friends who don't really associate with a whole lot of people, don't really do a whole lot, are kind of these rambunctious, kind of shitty, jokingly, just kind of nasty group of friends. One of them's 19, which is Jeremiah. Stuart is 20, and the oldest one, Tyler, is 21. And basically, the film centers on these three friends that after the death of Jeremiah's mother. So, the film is heavily dependent on the themes of trauma, guilt, grief, heartbreak, a lot of mature material. And if you've seen the film Super Dark Times, it's in a way kind of on the verge of that film, except it really goes into the background of these three characters and really describes each and every single one of them, who they are, where they come from, what kind of person they are, and it really plays with your mind a little bit as far as who to trust in this movie, who is good and who is bad, and who is capable of certain things. And a couple other characters I want to mention in the film are a girl named Haley and another character named Josh, who are kind of the two other friends that associate with this group. But Haley's 18, and her character is described as the girl that everybody wants. So these three best friends, they're kind of loners. They don't really have a huge circle of friends, but this girl Haley is extremely gorgeous, and a lot of people do want her. And with her character's background, you can kind of see that in the movie. And that's where she fits into this group of boys, is that she's the side friend, the female friend that they're all kind of trying to get with. And it shows her personal relationships as far as her background and where she is as far as each individual character. And the other character, his name is Josh, which is kind of this obnoxious, bratty, immature kid that they just kind of have around to honestly bully and just kind of entertain themselves with. And this film, as far as a genre and as far as what it's trying to achieve, is it's very graphic, very realistic, disturbing, and it's something very mature. Um, I think that I started writing this film back in 2015, and this film is it is inspired loosely by a true story that I personally went through. So a lot of the things that happen in the movie aren't, at least in the sense, related or compared to something I went through. So, and each character is currently going through their own personal issues, whether it be abuse or addiction. This film it goes through a lot. It goes through each individual character's backgrounds, and this film, as far as the story and the character development, it really is meant on a building. It's all about built and growth, as far as reaching the end of the story with the conclusion of the characters. It has a lot of dark comedy in it. It's got a lot of disturbing material in it. It's got a lot of elements that could be even labeled as horror genre. Uh, it, it's really hard to actually pinpoint what the genre is, because people have asked me, and I'm like, well, it's honestly, when I think about it, if you really want me to be honest, the genre is a dark comedy, psychological, coming of age horror thriller. Drama. So it's really just what it is. It's not really meant to be any genre. I'm not going for a specific genre with this film. It's just a story that needs to be told. And I think that this film has and will have the best writing I've ever written. It's got a lot of scenes that, as I was writing them, that they really broke me. It's got a lot of scenes that where I was writing them and I had to take a break for a couple of days and come back and just power through it and just finish it. And the film, I think itself is going to be like that. So Relapse was an extremely heavy film as far as what it consisted of and its atmosphere and its tone. And it was a really gruff film to kind of swallow. It had a big weight to itself, and it had a lot of energy that really was heavy. And I think that Pragmatophobia is actually going to expand on that. Sure, it will have a lot of really hilarious scenes. There's going to be scenes that are going to make you really just kind of lose yourself and just crack up. It's going to have its share of scenes that are really just going to make the room silent and make you want to wish that these certain things didn't happen. And it's really what I'm really proud of myself about as far as the writing process is the character development. So it's really tricky as far as as you're watching the movie, you're not really going to know who is who and who really is what, because there's going to be scenes where it's going to make you really feel for this character and really hate this other one, and vice versa. As and it's constant. It's constantly changing. It's a very bipolar film, and as far as what it's trying to achieve, so pragmatophobia means the fear of reality, and I think that's why I can't really describe what the genre is because it's not a certain genre. It's a cinematic retelling of a true story that had a lot of different things go into it. It's a very involved movie, and I think that as far as how people are going to take this film, obviously I don't know how it's going to be received, but when upon release of Relapse, with that being my first film and everything, I really didn't know what people were going to think. I didn't know if people were going to hate this movie, if they were going to think that it's boring, or if they were going to think that it's not enough, or if it was really good. I just released this film that I thought reached all expectations according to my view. And people loved this film. they really loved Relapse, and the way that the film was received and the responses I was getting as far as questions about the film and its background, and even people that have been following the film this since the second that I announced it back in October of last year, when I announced, it would be a part of Pragmatophobia that I've been working on for 4 years. People were immediately, onto jumping the gun and just asking me questions about Pragmatophobia, about how it relates to Relapse in this sense and that sense, and it really was uplifting for me to actually, and really inspired me to actually get this film just done with. But as far as how I think people will interpret the film and what their response on it is going to be, I think it's going to be very, very personal. Again, it's got all kinds of genres in this film. It's got all kinds of themes in it. It's got all kinds of metaphors and characteristics. Every single person will interpret this film in a different sense, will react to it differently, will have certain things that they're picking out from the film, because again, it goes over addiction, abuse, trauma, grief, heartbreak, anxiety, abandonment, betrayal. It goes over everything. Like, I was rereading the list of the actual themes that are included in the movie, and it's a big list. It's again, it's a extremely involved film, and the whole background and history of this film was that it was going to be my first film. I'm 24 now. I started writing this film when I was 19, and over the years, I haven't changed anything about it. I haven't really made it more than what it started as, because I know what this film is. I know what goes into it and what its goal is. And there's a lot of surprises in this movie. There's things that, even as of today, I didn't even expect to be in it. Like, me, myself, as the writer and director of this film, I'm just blown away by it. I'm shocked and surprised as to what it's actually become since it started 4 to 5 years ago. And I think that this will, as far as my career in filming, I think that this will be the film that I will always pick out from the bunch. It will be the one that I think will really stand out and will really define me as far as where I want to go as far as filming and what kind of films I want to make. So, without spoiling more, I will be saying that the whole cast and crew is figured out. The editing process and the writing process of the film is 99% done. And I've already got some scenes that I've personally shot myself for the movie. And I have some stills that I will be releasing soon, as far as images from behind the scenes of the filming process. And as well as the poster will be revealed very soon here as well. So just to be this far in the production of and development of Pragmatophobia is just unbelievable. Its predecessor, Relapse, was released in theaters. It is on YouTube right now. And just to be in that area with that film, knowing that I can make these films and that people did respond the way that they did to Relapse, really makes me want to push Pragmatophobia to be something more than even I fully thought it would be. Like, I can't really at all wait to release more about this film. So this has been the plot and the background and the history and the goal of the film. And as far as what else is to be revealed, obviously before the film releases in February, it will be released in February in select theaters, and obviously there will be a trailer in the coming months as well. Filming concludes in October, so I'd say anywhere around November you can expect a full-on trailer. But without revealing any more, I really hope that what I've talked about today gets you excited for the movie, gives you a good idea as far as what the movie is going to be including and what the main focus of the film will be and what you can expect. If there's any more questions about the movie as far as plot details, character details, and I'd be happy to talk to you about the movie some more. So my name is Stuart Robertson. I'm the writer and director of the Relapse and Pragmatophobia films, and I really enjoy you tuning in for the video. I can't wait to get this film out to you guys in February. Take care.